Hi everyone, my name's Danny. I'm a member of Survivors Matters. I also run a group called Shatterboys UK. I'm a member of the Victims and Survivors Consultative Panel for the National Inquiry into Child Abuse. So I'm taking it, if you're watching this video, that you've got some interest in the subject that we're talking about, which is child abuse and recovery. You might be a survivor yourself, or a concerned family member or friend, and hopefully there'll be some information in this short video that you can pass on to someone who it may just help. So I'm pleased to announce that we're launching our peer support group over in Rochdale. So I was just going to tell you a little bit about the peer support group, how it runs, sort of how it works. I'm also one of the facilitators for the peer support group. That's why I'm making this video. I'm a survivor myself, so I was sexually abused from 5 to 10 by a family member, then groomed and raped from 15 up until 21. Sort of led a life of like sort of misery, anxiety, depression. From the abuse I suffered, my behaviour came out in a young age. I was getting into a lot of trouble, sort of distracted at school, couldn't concentrate. This really affected my my learning as a young person and as a young adult as well, and ended up getting in loads of trouble. Went off the rails basically, ended up getting on drugs, numerous times in rehab, probation, mental health units, getting in trouble with the police, probation, and all that kind of stuff what comes with it. You know, it wasn't until I'm 41 now, it wasn't till very later on in life, when it was about 9 years ago now, that I had a drug worker who recognised that I'd been through some kind of trauma, and asked that question, you know, have you been through something when you was a child? You know, is this part of the reason why you are the way you are, and you can't stop taking drugs basically? And from that day that he did that and offered me that peer support, my life started to change, and I entered on the journey of recovery, not just from the drug abuse and the damage I'd done to myself and those around me and to society as well, but recovery from child abuse. You know, I'm not saying to you that peer support is going to solve everything and it's like a magic wand and it's going to make everything go away. That's not the case, but it certainly helps. What it did for me is it helped me learn some coping mechanisms. It helped me to get through life. It stopped me carrying all this stuff around, you know, the abuse, the impact issues, the legacy issues. It stopped me carrying it all about myself basically, and it was an opportunity to offload to someone and explore the damage what it had done, help me understand my behaviors, help me understand my coping mechanisms, and the coping mechanisms that I was using wasn't working, and kind of sort of give me a glimmer of hope. You know, that first day that I disclosed to him, a massive weight was lifted off my shoulders. You know, and I realized that I wasn't alone with this stuff, and I realized it wasn't just me that this had happened to, and I realized that it's okay to talk about stuff. It was scary, because the thing is, the last time I got vulnerable, I was sexually abused basically. So take that massive leap to trust somebody, and go into my like sort of you know, go into that cupboard that I've been storing all this stuff in, where the doors were like boom, 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 like that for many years. It was difficult. But that connection with him, with someone else who'd been through something similar to myself, is without parallel, basically. You know, and I made a promise that day that once I'd sorted myself out, best I could, got into recovery, that would set something up with other like-minded people, as in peer support, and try and give someone else a like sort of helping hand, what I always say is what he did that day is he gave me a gift, and he gave me permission to speak. Not not that I needed permission to speak, but because I've been silent for that long, I didn't know I could speak, and I didn't have the words. It was only through listening to someone else and then talking openly and honestly about what they've been through. But more importantly for me is how they come out the other side. That's the stuff that I wanted to know. That was the like sort of golden nugget, if you like. So I clung on to him. I clung on to him for dear life. Till I was okay. As okay as can be. And sometimes it's okay to not be okay. And some days are difficult, and some days are struggle. But you know what? Life isn't like what it was before. I'm not constantly stuck in that place of like sort of pain, misery, anxiety, and in a dark, hopeless tunnel. Basically, it worked wonders for me. It worked wonders for me. So as Survivors Matters, we've set up a peer support group. We're launching the first one over in Rochdale. That's going to be on the 9th of the month, next month coming up. It's going to be at 7 p.m. If you're a survivor, you're in the Rochdale area, a male survivor, sorry, and you're in the Rochdale area, or you're out of town and you can come to Rochdale, please get in touch at Survivors Matter. At peer to peer, as in peer to peer, at survivorsmatter.uk. You can get in touch that way. We can arrange a phone call. We can have a chat. We can talk you through the group and tell you how it works, basically. Which I'll go into a bit more now. So I've talked a little bit about why, and now we'll talk about how. So I'll run you through basically how you get in touch, what it's like to come to group, what the group runs like, and how it all kind of sort of breaks down. So what you do is, you'll get in touch via email. We'll respond to the email within 72 hours. We'll arrange a phone call or arrange a face-to-face kind of meet up, whatever's best for you, whatever you feel more comfortable with. We'll build up a bit of a relationship on the phone or like I say, like sort of via face-to-face when it comes to group. So people turn up at the group. We've got a maximum capacity of about 12 people for the group. Any more than that will be unsafe, to be honest with you. And we want everybody to be able to have that opportunity and time to speak. So if the group's packed and the group's chocker, we can't really give people that time and like sort of focus what they deserve. So you'll turn up on the day, you'll turn up at the room. The location of rooms will be with the location of room. We'll tell you about when we speak about it, because we want to keep the place safe as possible. So the location of the room will be only available to those who are going to come to the group, basically, which is the safest thing, I think. So people turn up to the group, we get meted and greeted outside. You'll come in, we'll sit down, we'll have a brew, have a bit of a chat, hopefully relieve a few of those anxieties, and hopefully that this video will do that as well. We'll sit down on a chair, sit down in a circle, because that's the shape of the room. It's as simple as that, so everyone can have like sort of eye contact with each other. Myself and the co-facilitator will kick the group off. So imagine you're like sort of sat in group now. So I'd be like, right, hey everybody, my name's Danny, I'm a survivor. I'll talk a little bit about my history, about like sort of what I've been through. I won't go into like sort of specific detail, because people don't need to know the graphic details, and talk about how my kind of like sort of life is now. And the group runs once a fortnight on a Tuesday evening, 7 till 9. So what we do is we talk about, after the introduction session, we talk about how it's been for the last 2 weeks, what's been going on in our lives, how we've been coping, what's been going well, what's not been going well, what kind of stuff we'd like to talk about, what stuff do we need more help with, all that kind of stuff. So once we go around the room, so we go around in the room in turn, so you don't have to stand up and say, I don't have to stand up or anything like that and say, oh, my name's Danny, I'm a survivor. It doesn't work like that. Just nice, and the emphasis on relaxed and comfortable atmosphere, really. So when we're going round that room, if you don't feel comfortable talking and you just want to kind of like sort of listen at the beginning, that's fine as well. So you could just say like sort of, my name's Andy, I want to pass. Whatever you feel comfortable with, because the most important thing is that you're in charge of your stuff, because it's your stuff. You know, it's not our stuff. It's stuff that's personal to you, and it is stuff that you might have locked away for years. You know, the average time for a male disclosing is 27 years. You know, which is a hell of a long time. So just to come and speak and like sort of you know, spill everything, it's not the case. And I just reiterate that you do not have to go into specific detail about what happened to you. You only speak about what you feel comfortable speaking with. So once we've gone around the room, everybody's introduced herself, said how the last 2 weeks have been. What we'll do then is we'll kind of like sort of focus on whoever, I will say, who wants to start off, who wants to kick off the group. So somebody might come in and say, you know, things are going well, but the thing is, I keep getting kind of stuck with these flashbacks. I'm having bad dreams at night. You know, has anybody else felt that? You know, there's a system of cross sharing, so you can talk to people. You know, when people are discussing stuff, we just ask that you you know, respect each other's wishes. Don't speak over anybody. You know, don't sort of be talking to the person next to you when somebody's speaking, because you know, it's dead important stuff, this. So when say for example, if someone says, you know, you know, suffering with flashbacks, then someone else might come in and say, you know, I was like that a few months ago, and this is what worked for me, and this is what I did. You know, it's all about sharing experiences and really focusing on moving forward, because what I always say, if I use this analogy, you know, if you're always looking in the rear view mirror, you're going to hit something. Do you know what I mean? So it's okay to like sort of glance over your shoulder, but what we'll be focusing on in this peer support group is moving forward and getting your life back, basically. You know, because who wants to live a life of like, you know, what I sort of spoke about and mentioned before. You know, you deserve to heal. You deserve to be, you know, you deserve to get better, and you deserve to have a seat on that chair. Because another thing what I say is, don't compare yourself to anybody else in that room, because you might hear somebody's story or someone share their experience. You think, flipping heck, I thought it was bad what happened to me. You know, look what happened to him, because that kind of stuff can your head can take you out of the group with that kind of stuff. Do you know what I mean? So look at the similarities and not the differences. You know, everybody deserves to have the bum sat on that seat. You know, no matter what's happened to you, no matter what that you've been through, and you deserve to get well, basically. So that generally takes up like sort of the first 45 minutes of the session. Then what we'll do is we'll have a break then. So we'll have a comfort break, so you can have a brew, biscuits, have a cig, you can go outside. If you feel uncomfortable at any point during the group, you can get up, you can walk out, that's fine. If you'd like someone to come outside with you, make sure you're okay and stuff, there'll be somebody on hand for that, because there'll be myself, myself, another co-facilitator, and there'll be somebody outside as well. You know, if you need a little bit of space, basically. Yeah, so we'll have the comfort break. You know, sometimes some of the best stuff happens, in my experience, in those breaks, when you're outside having a cig, talking to people. Do you know what I mean? So after the break, we'll come back in, we'll sit back down, and we'll pick up on like sort of where we left off, and we'll make sure that those who want to speak can speak, and those who want to listen, they can just listen as well. So we'll kick off again. Obviously the topic of conversation will be picked up by like sort of by the second half, and people will be feeling a bit more comfortable with each other. So I'm talking about the first like sort of group here really as well. Excuse me. So we'll carry on going, you know, and all that time that stuff's going on is you're building up a connection, you're building up a support network with other people as well. So the group will run for another 45 minutes. After the end of that 45 minutes, what we'll do is a checkout then. So after everyone's checked in, everybody's spoken, talked about stuff that they wanted to speak about, we'll do a checkout. So what we'll do is we'll go back round the room then, see how everybody's found the group. Is there anything that they'd like to bring to the next group that they'd like covered, and make sure everybody's okay to leave as well, and everyone feels safe. If you don't, what we've done is we've allotted some time for after the group, so there'll be like half an hour left after the group if anyone wants to chat. You know, wants like sort of a bit of a support basically. Also, what we'll be doing in the group is we'll be signposting people. So if somebody wants to report to the police, if somebody wants a solicitor, if somebody feels like they need counselling, all that information will be on hand as well, so we can signpost you on. Because the thing is, this group is about peer support. It's not counselling, it's not therapy, it's peer support. It's one survivor helping another. So that's basically it in a nutshell. So if you're interested, like, it's not rocket science, this stuff. It's not rocket science. It's identification and connection with another person who understands what you've been through, because they've been through it themselves and they've come out the other end and they're getting on with their life, dealing with family life and being like sort of like a sort of productive member of society, really. You know, and being able to be present in situations, you know, like family stuff, family time, you know, time out with your friends, you know, not like sort of stuck in that flipping black hole, you know, that place where it can take us. Yeah, so anyway, thanks everybody for listening. If you think this might be useful, this video, to someone, pass it on. If you know somebody who may benefit from peer support, you're not a survivor yourself, please pass it on. So please just please support us, really support us, because you know, this is about getting your life back, and taking back power and control and saying, you know what, it wasn't my fault, I'm not to blame, I didn't ask for this to happen, you know, and join the journey with us. So our email address is peer-to-peer@survivorsmatter.uk. Thank you.